So I have an older table saw, but honestly, I really like it, and I don't really want one of the digitals or anything like that. I like this one. Most of the time, 90% of the time, maybe 95, probably 95 to 98% of the time I'm cutting, just ripping like this, straight up and down. But once in a while, I need to tilt it and do other cool things. And it's not the it's not a digital, it's you can bend this, you can just pull this down a little bit and change your degrees just by doing that. It's got some flexibility to it. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you're dead on 10, unless this is set to 0, then it's pretty close. And you know what, for you test stuff anyway. So if I went to 45 degrees, I would test it to see if it was 45 by cutting to putting them together and see if it's 90 degrees. So you always do that anyways. You need to do that, I think. But when you come back to 0, maybe this has gotten bumped. Where is 0? So one thing I found is just move the fence over next to the saw blade, have it up quite a ways, and then see, does it look parallel? The other option is to grab a little square, set it next to it. So I would say for all practical purposes, we're dead on. Totally fine. So those are some of the little things, I don't think higher tech necessarily means better woodworking, I guess is what I'm saying. And the one thing I really do love about this saw, I'll tell you right now, is this. The on and off switch is right here. So when you're cutting, and let's say it starts getting pinched a little bit, you bring your right leg up a little bit, and you just hit this with your leg. That way your hands are still holding the item. You bring it up, hit it, it's off, wait till it stops, and then you can move. So you don't have to take one hand and press a button or anything like that. You just tap it with your leg, right in here, just tap it and it's off. Very nice safety feature. I've used other saws and I come to realize, gosh, this is more important than I even originally thought it was. Is having it right there, convenient, where you can hit it with your leg. Okay, and there was times I was frustrated with this saw when the pulley kept coming off. After it got heated up, it would start coming off, and then it would get loose. But since I siliconed it and tightened it on that way, let the silicone harden, that thing has not moved. So huge improvement with this saw. And I had already changed the arbor. Like, this saw is like 40 years old, so it's gotten some use. And I had to put a new motor on too, which I was a little worried about. There's some videos on that too. There's videos on almost everything I'm talking about here, except for this is kind of the new aspect. But the motor, just to refresh your memory, my original motor, they repaired it 1 or 2 times and they said, listen, Brad, it's just not, you should just get a new one. I thought, oh, darn it. But you know what? This motor's all enclosed. It takes less power, still gives you the most power, and it's so much quieter, smoother. My lights used to dim when I turned the other ones on. Of course, I switched to LED lights too, so can't remember which happened first. But I think this thing just runs smoother and starts faster and everything else. So the new motor in the end was a great addition to this saw. Another one had just seen its wear and tear. And being enclosed, I worry about it less. The other one, sawdust got in there, and I had heard a fire starting and didn't want that to happen. Not in here. Okay, so move your fence over, eye right down through, get it nice and straight up and down. Not too hard to do, and not too hard to remember. So let's get back ripping.